we see many young foodpreneurs who want to start up cannot do so because they don't have the financial capital to start up a brick and mortar restaurant. You are looking at a financial capital of about 200 to 300,000 ringgit to start up your own restaurant. But COOX, if you have just about 10 to 20,000 ringgit, you could already start up.
You're listening to Foodie Canteen. I'm your host, Castle Lim. And in this podcast, I'm sitting down with Southeast Asia's leaders, entrepreneurs, and content creators in the F&B space. In this podcast, you will learn about their trade secrets, or you'll just find them as your next door neighbor. This conversation is brought to you by Pay Later by Grab. For listeners, you can now get up to 50 ringgit rebate on your online purchases. This allows you to get what you need now and pay next month, or pay in 4 monthly installments interest-free. Jom, shop online with Pay Later by Grab. T&Cs apply. Today on the show, we have the founders of the latest cloud kitchen concept in Malaysia. Their story is one you wouldn't want to miss. Stick around for more. Hi Saddiq, hi Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hi, welcome.
So happy to have you here despite your busy schedule. It's hard to get all of you here today. But we want to know more about COOX. It's founded by 5 great minds. For listeners who have never heard of COOX, can you tell us what is this all about?
So COOX essentially is a cloud kitchen, providing kitchen space with the innovative solutions that we create to tackle the ongoing challenges faced by the F&B industry over the years. By enhancing the operational efficiency, right?
Yeah. In summary, I think the cloud kitchen concept is not new in the world, but in Malaysia it's still relatively new.
Yeah.
And COOX is the fastest growing cloud kitchen, which provides an all-encompassing tech solution, not just renting out kitchen spaces, but also the digital solutions behind it. Getting the best deals with food delivery partners, ensuring that there are great discounts, ensuring that immediately someone who is as young as 25 years old, who believes in starting up his or her own restaurant, can now immediately start it up with a capex of about 10 to 30,000 ringgit, minimal money needed for investment. So I think this is the best way to ensure that we can support great cooks out there. So COOX supporting great cooks. That's our mantra.
Yeah. I mean, cloud kitchen, a lot of people translate it as dark kitchen, virtual kitchen, ghost kitchen. But actually, what is a cloud kitchen? Like you say, it's a fairly new concept in Malaysia, even though it's not overseas. How does it work?
So, like you said, cloud kitchen has been around overseas for quite a number of years. It recently started in Malaysia probably 2 years ago. Essentially, what cloud kitchen is a kitchen space provided to all F&B brands to operate of all sizes, focusing on delivery. So that's why you have all the different names like dark kitchen or even a ghost kitchen, because the traditional model of a cloud kitchen is actually in an unseen area. So it can be on top of the shop lot, or at the back street, back alley, not seen, not on the front row, front street, focusing on delivery, because the orders that you do are on delivery, hence you do not need to be seen, in a way. But for COOX, we are a little bit of a hybrid.
Yeah. So
on top of being just focusing on delivery, we do have the takeaway, and also we have a significant amount of dine-in.
Mm-hmm.
So we are more of a hybrid instead of just a cloud kitchen.
Yeah. So all 5 founders actually come from fairly different backgrounds. Who plays what role?
So I'm the only one in the F&B industry.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge of the operations. I'm actually the CEO. And we have Stuart Leong, who is our Chief Development Officer, who in charges of building all the COOX location with his construction background. Then we have Seong Ong, a software engineer from San Fran, came back to Malaysia for good, and he's in charge of building our tech stack. And then we have Finesh Sinha, who is an entrepreneur for the past decade, in the sustainable industry.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have Saddiq. Saddiq, you want to tell us a bit about what you do here?
Yeah, I help on the innovation and disruptive side of things, and also connecting people with one another, and also on the marketing side of things as well. But as you may have heard, the team is a very power compact team.
Yeah.
We all bring our own expertise and different sets of experience, but when combined, I think it's been a very exciting team to work with.
So were you all friends before this? Like, how did this idea come about just to bring these 5 powerhouses together?
So we're actually not. So I know some of these guys through Vinesh. Me and Vinesh were long-time friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my past experience, I've seen the struggle we have been facing in the F&B industry.
Mm.
So when I created COOX, when we started COOX, the team was a purpose-built team.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's a very diversified team. Everyone is champions their own field. So no, to answer your question, we were not friends, but it was a purpose-built team.
Yeah.
But now we're all friends.
Now we are.
So now I mean, definitely we've worked well with one another. We all have our own sets of KPI. We all have our own areas of expertise.
Mm.
But with that, we need to ensure that we can grow COOX quickly to be the fastest growing cloud kitchen in Malaysia and hopefully in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. So where is COOX now? I mean, how are the responses so far?
Despite the pandemic, the response has been great, right? Like I mentioned earlier, we started operating in June.
Mm.
So we are now at 90% occupancy.
Yeah, I mean, the response has been great, particularly because we see many young foodpreneurs who want to start up cannot do so because they don't have the financial capital to start up a brick and mortar restaurant. Because in grade A areas like Mont Kiara, Bangsa, TTDI, on average, rental cost is about 10 to 15,000. You need to hire at least 5 staff. On top of that, you need to buy all the kitchen equipment. You need to renovate your brick and mortar restaurant. So you are looking at a financial capital of about 200 to 300,000 ringgit to start up your own restaurant. But COOX, if you have just about 10 to 20,000 ringgit, you could already start up. Rental is ridiculously affordable. I think it's about 2,008 to 5,000 ringgit a month. We already get the basic kitchen equipment for you. So in a way, I think that's the biggest contributing reason as to why many, even well-established brands have moved into COOX, including young entrepreneurs also deciding to move into COOX because during pandemic time, it's not easy and it's very tough. However, we believe that this business model is not just a pandemic business model.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, there will be many more Malaysians who will order food online. And at the same time, as the cost of labor increase, the cost of rental increase, cost of renovation increase. So that's where there's a great need to have affordable kitchen spaces to be rented out with a digitalized solution to maximize profits to ensure that our young foodpreneurs and established brands can come in and survive.
Yeah. I think that was one of my questions. Like, is this a pandemic boom or is this concept here to stay?
I definitely think that this is here to stay. I mean, we've witnessed many Malaysians, even those who we never expected to go buy food online, now doing so. Classic example, my parents. I mean, they used to, I mean, my mom was a teacher, just retired. She used to pay her students 20 cents to reply to my SMS and WhatsApp then. However, now, even she and my dad are all on Grab, almost everyone in my family. And I witnessed that trend not just happening, among upper middle class Malaysians. No, now it's reached to all different sets of Malaysians. And I believe with that, online delivery will be very powerful, especially now when people are moving to digital payment solutions, even the government incentivizing through different budgetary subsidies to ensure that people do subscribe to online solutions. So I believe that this is the future. We need. I think the cloud kitchen industry will expand very quickly in Malaysia. Therefore, COOX wants to position itself as the best and fastest growing cloud kitchen in Malaysia and the future Southeast Asia.
I think restaurant owners, they are breaking even because their profit is taken up by real estate. Is that something operators should be concerned about with cloud kitchens?
When you speak about rental, yes, a big chunk of the revenue actually goes to the rental, especially we are on the high streets like Bangsar or even in the mall, right? That's always been the killer. But that is why COOX or cloud kitchen is the best solution for now, right? So with COOX, the concept, you initially, the barrier of entry is the lowest and you pay the least of capex to start your business. So instead of a traditional brick and mortar business where you need easily, like Saddiq mentioned, 200 to 300,000 to start. Now you only need a fraction of it, or even 10% of it. You are able to start your own brand online, and it's really a great solution for all, especially the startups, to try out their brands, right? To start instead of starting a cafe and it requires such a high startup cost. So.
So if brands solely operate in the cloud kitchen space, it's hard for them to build long-term relationships through memorable moments with their customers, being able to meet their customers face-to-face. What's your take on that?
So with the delivery competition also rising, I see a few key differentiate, First of all, the food has to be really great because now, like you said, there's no experience, to be filled with the delivery. The food has to be top notch, right? And as well as the packaging. The packaging plays a big part in the delivery scene, because we have seen a lot of the restaurants, for the sake of surviving now during the pandemic, they are doing delivery and they're providing a very low quality of takeaway packages and even using the styrofoams and the plastic bags, which are not very environmentally friendly. So by upping the game of the packaging, it gives the client still the same quality of food as dine-in, as well as being environmental friendly.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to what Ken mentioned, I think the whole restaurant experience is not just about the dining experience. It's the great food, great packaging, great pricing. All of this falls into a more wholesome narrative. And I believe COOX covers that. Above and beyond that, COOX has created a hybrid model where we also have a dining option, obviously not now during COVID, but after about 40 seats. So it's a shared seating model where people could also opt in. But as I mentioned just now, as online deliveries, people eating at home, the number of people increase, the experience of eating at home privately with your date, with your parents, with your friends and family, good food, arrive quickly, cooked well, affordable, to many, I believe is a lot more meaningful as they get that level of privacy and comfort being in your own private space and sphere. And I think post-COVID, people will realize that to a great extent. So I think that's why it's great to capitalize on this as well.
I imagine that having 5 founders for a business can be both exciting and difficult. How do you guys make the right choices together?
We don't seem to have any problem so far. I think we are very focused with our vision, our goal, which on the bigger picture is just to help and disrupt the F&B industry, right? And like Saddiq has always been, we are always here to disrupt, in every industry that we do. So we are very focused on that. And I think with the team that we have now, we're all very aligned with what we do. And with that, we do pivot a lot just to overcome some of the challenges and obstacles as a startup. But yeah, at the end of the day, as long as we are focused on the goal, then I think we're fine.
That was the co-founders of COOX. You are listening to Foodie Canteen, and we will be right back after a short break. This episode is powered by Pay Later by Grab. Our listeners can now get up to 50 ringgit rebate on your online purchases. This allows you to buy what you need now and pay next month, or pay in 4 monthly installments. And did I mention it's interest-free? T&Cs apply. With Saddiq's passion for the youth and, like you said, Ken, your passion for cooking and food, what role do you see COOX playing in furthering your visions in your particular fields?
I believe in one, supporting foodpreneurs so that they have a place to pursue their passion, so that anyone who has dreamt of being a chef or starting up a restaurant can do so at minimal cost, and bring in the disruptive tech solutions behind it. So that's one. I believe in supporting entrepreneurs. That's why if you look at the price range of COOX, it is by far the cheapest and most affordable in the market. On top of that, we are the only ones who have secured the best deals with food delivery partners, and also located in the most strategic areas. Above and beyond that, I also want to ensure that COOX becomes the fastest growing cloud kitchen in Malaysia and Southeast Asia, and therefore positioning a disruptive solution from a Malaysian company to move the Malaysian brand and ideals forward. I'm a fan of disruption, and I believe this is a way to disrupt the F&B industry.
I think the reason we started this because based on my experience, the F&B industry is a very competitive industry. I think we all know. Many of the brands do not celebrate their 5th year anniversary, and this is a global study, right? So, COOX essentially is the solution for the future, right, for F&B industry, and with the uprising delivery demand, even pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, you have changed consumer behavior. It's really the way to go, especially for the startup brands, and also there's any brands, right? Even the established brands. We have actually seen some of the biggest brands shutting down a lot of their outlets, and there's no two ways about it, right? So with COOX, we are able to provide the perfect solution for these established brands, and they have a better chance of surviving.
So do you hand select the operators for quality and variety, or everyone is welcome in?
We like to say COOX is for everyone. So we do not curate, we do not select. We are here to provide a solution, as I mentioned. So we like to give everyone an equal, fair chance, from the big brands to even the startups. We have for our current list of merchants, it's pretty even, I would say. We have some of the big brands. We also have a lot of the startups. We even have Saddiq's mom as a retired teacher taking up a kitchen space selling delicious lasagna. We've been eating it every day. We also have musicians, retired musicians that have sold their guitar just to start up the brand, right? If it's not for COOX and what we provide, they will not be able to start their own F&B brand by just selling a guitar. So, yeah.
So the big brands and mom and pops, there's a huge gap between these two categories. How do you help to boost orders from smaller operators should they not be performing?
I think a lot of times they're not performing. It's not because they cannot produce good food, and a lot of times it's due to mismanagement. So that's where our expertise comes in. We help them manage, consult them, and give them advice since they're new, right? All they do is cook and produce what they love to cook. So by giving them opinions and advice and consultation on the menu, on the cost saving, on optimizing and standardization of the menu, they have a better chance of surviving instead of just promoting them out in the market. I mean, that's more essential to me in creating a sustainable brand compared to just promoting and marketing the brand.
What were some of the challenges you guys faced when you were setting up COOX?
I think the biggest challenge was awareness, right? For Malaysia, I think it's still fairly a new thing. A lot of the public have heard of cloud kitchen, but do not know exactly what cloud kitchen is and can do for them. So for a lot of traditional brick and mortar F&B operators, they still start with that business model. So to create an awareness is the challenge, to allow them to understand that delivery is the future, that cloud kitchen is the solution for them, if they wish not to be in a brick and mortar business. Or even some of the brands that has a brick and mortar business can survive, can open a cloud kitchen brand, and scale much faster. So we need to educate the public more on this matter.
So last month, COOX actually partnered up with Grab. That's very exciting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that partnership?
Grab has been an amazing partner. And obviously, we want to ensure that all our tenants will have multiple revenue streams to work with. There's the COOX web app, which they can share with their friends and families and supporters to buy food from. Above and beyond that, Grab has been great in also supporting young entrepreneurs as well. So as a consequence, when we bring in now 26 cloud kitchens together, then we can also push for economies of scale and better rates with the food delivery partners. So we do get preferential rates, which I'm not in position to disclose now, but to tenants, they know it, and it's been quite a substantial amount. Because, for an example, let's say you are a very small foodpreneur, you're coming in for the very first time, you want to experiment, and therefore you take up a place at COOX. If you were to negotiate on your own with food delivery partners, would be the percentage would be very, very high. On top of that, we also have big brands who are coming in who already get the best rates by their own. So when we piece them together, we fuse their own respective strengths, and that's where we negotiate better with food delivery partners, because these are established brands and also up and coming brands together negotiating for the best deals, which in the end we don't take a single cent. All the discounts are directed to our merchants and our tenants so that they get the best benefit out of this.
And I mean, Grab has been a great partner, right? By partnering with them, first of all, the integration with their app and ours has been amazing. The user experience for the merchant has been seamless. They are able to have all the integration ready, and with a click of a button on our side of the app, everything is being changed on that side. So I would say that is one of the game changer for us. It allows the merchant to operate a lot more efficient on that. And on top of that, with all the promotions that Grab has given us, because we actually represent 26 brands, so it does helps the merchant brand awareness a lot better. So a lot of cross promotions that Grab have done with us with all the brands. So it's not so much on not just on the commission, the preferential rate, but also on building the brands that are under COOX.
So what are the business milestones you would like to achieve with COOX in the long run?
The goal would to be have COOX all over Malaysia, right? So our vision is, our goal is to have 20 outlets across the Peninsula Malaysia, 10 probably in the Klang Valley, and the other 10 will be in either states like Penang or even Johor or Melaka, where the people in that region are lack of the delivery. And we can also bring some of the brands that are in Klang Valley, the famous brands, right? They are not in those regions, and bring them and have them in those areas.
So what are you guys working on now? I heard that you guys are raising funds from the public. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are currently doing our fundraising, our equity crowdfunding on Pitch-in. So we'll be closing the round in August, and yeah, hopefully with that we are able to raise the funds needed for us for the expansion.
And my final question today is, do you have any advice for entrepreneurs who are looking to take their first step, just like you guys?
I think one quote that I've always lived by is, when luck knocks, where luck is when opportunity knocks and you answer. So a lot of time the opportunity is right in front of us and we just missed it because we're lack of confidence, or we're just not ready. To me, I see the difference between entrepreneurs who is successful is, whenever you see the opportunity, just grab it, right? You don't know how to do it, just say yes and then think how to do it. I think that's something I've always lived by.
I think follow your heart, follow your passion, because being young, we are bound to make mistakes here and there. But when the heart is in the right place, all will go well, and we'll keep on breaking whatever walls are placed in between us and our success. But secondly, never suffer from analysis paralysis. At times, we tend to be too risk averse to the point that we are so afraid to take the first step. Not to say this is an excuse for you not to analyze, but don't over-analyze to the point that you are paralyzed from moving forward. Being young, follow your heart, follow your passion, and keep on driving forward.
Wow, I'll take this advices to heart. Thank you so much, Saddiq and Ken, for coming on the show and sharing your story. I wish you the best of luck in helping Malaysian businesses in these tough times.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You have just listened to Foodie Canteen. This episode is brought to you by Pay Later by Grab. Special thanks to Saddiq and Ken for sharing their story. This show is produced by me, your host Castle Lim, and co-written by Mei Rui Kwa. Foodie Canteen podcast is made possible by the excellent team at Good Foodie Media. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Foodie Canteen for more. Follow us for brand new episodes every Friday. Thanks for listening.